Okay, welcome everybody. We're doing an optimization conversation. I'm Teresa James. Monique Stevens is my coach, and Linda Lee and Dottie are my clients who are getting into optimization. Actually, yeah, both of you are getting really close. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share some stuff that I've been learning. So, so one of the first things that you're going to do, excuse me, when you get to your goal weight is transition. And I'm talking about the part after transition. I'm talking about optimization, because all of transition is still pretty set forward. You're adding, the first week you're adding 2 servings of vegetables. And the second week you take away 1 fueling and you add a fruit. So you've got 2 vegetables and a fruit, and so on through a month. But when you get into optimization, I would really like to talk to you once a week, or every day for the first week, and then once a week for a few months until you really feel, you know, I can take the training wheels off and I think I've got this. So this is client answers, OPTAVIA client answers. And then what I did, well, first what I did is looked for a TEE calculator. TEE stands for total energy expenditure. And I'll take you there now. I'll just click on it. No, not the calculation. That's at Habits of Health. I want the calculator. I think maybe I already have it up. Go. Huh. Let's go back and we'll just click on a calculator right there.
Isn't that the bottom of that page?
Recipe conversion here.
No, on the page that you were on. I thought it was on the bottom of that page. The other page that you just closed.
The 3 and 3.
Oh, maybe that's
right
not
there.
The same page. It's at the very bottom of one of those.
Okay.
She was moving fast.
There it is. Yeah, you found it.
So you type in your TEE. We overestimate our movement and we underestimate our intake. So if you want to stay right where you should be, then I would compensate for that. So if I am 145 pounds, I'm 5'8", I'm 58, and I'm female, I will say I am slightly active. I do light exercise and sports. Right now, I am moving and I have a cracked rib. So I'm going to leave it at sedentary. I wish they had spelled sedentary correctly. Bugs me. Moms and teachers.
Yeah.
It says my TEE is 1545. That seems really high to me. Hi, Sherry. Nice to have you. Take yourself off mute so you can join in. I would probably.
I might be muted out a bit because I'm expecting an interruption. So.
Gotcha. Okay. So I would, if it were me, I would take that down to 1400. Just because I worry about that. As you go through your calculations, as you go through eating, you'll watch your scale. I wouldn't worry about weighing every day. It wouldn't hurt to weigh every day, especially as you're doing this, but understand weight fluctuates and you're going to see differences. Just don't freak out about it. The first week that you get off through transition, you're going to gain. That first month, you'll probably gain about 5 pounds, because that's you remember when you first jumped on program, you're going to lose an extra 5. Well, it's going to come back. And so you want to drop down a little bit below where your goal is, just so that it compensates for that. So what I use is MyFitnessPal, and I'll bring that up on my phone. It is right here. And that loads
totally
up.
agree with Teresa. I totally agree to put your TE a little bit lower than you think, because you can always adjust it up.
Absolutely. I'd rather be under than over. Absolutely.
I
And
underestimate my activity on purpose, even though I'm really, really active,
yeah,
because we always eat a little more than we think we're going to.
yeah,
Just
I
happens.
agree. So MyFitnessPal is free. I pay for extra stuff, and you can do that or not do that. It doesn't make any difference. But this is the greatest tool, and it's just a private tool, but it's nice to calculate what you're doing. I have it in, oh, I should have had that. Oh, there it is. I believe I have it on my computer. It's different on your phone, obviously. And usually I enter everything on my phone. I'm just going to go to MyFitnessPal so you can see. Good grief, come on. I should have had this loaded up already. There. I had everything else loaded up, but not this.
I've been on it before, and I know you enter in your food, and it calculates, basically put in your calories that you need, and
Right.
it helps you to keep under.
Right. And so if you touch on diary, and then I set it up for 6 meals. I set it up for breakfast and snack and lunch and snack and
Okay.
dinner and snack, and that gives me 6 meals. You can go in and you can scan food when you're going to go to breakfast. There's a little barcode thing right
Yeah.
there,
Uh-huh.
and you can scan anything and it comes up. You want to keep your breakfast and your dinner will be your biggest meals, and then in between it'll be 100 calories. 3 in the middle that are going to be about 100 calories, and 1 in the your evening that'll be about 100 calories. Dr. A has sample healthy exchanges. Where is it? These are healthy exchanges that
Oh.
with sweets
48?
and your what, honey?
Is it at page 248? I'm trying to remember. I'm in the car in the Habits of Health book.
Well, I forgot to bring it with me. It's at my house.
I
And
think I'm
so
pretty sure like, it's in the big book with a
yeah,
picture of Dr. J on it, and I think it's page 248.
the
I'll look
other
it up
thing,
for us.
it's
I'll look it up
also,
for us.
oh, thank you, honey. It's also, I believe, in your Habits of Health app.
Yep.
When you go into resources and then meal plans, and then choose the bottom one, which is alternate health plan or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but all of these are listed in all of that. And it'll give you the glycemic index of the vegetables in the color chart, the green and the red and the yellow. So
And
that
you
you always have it with you.
Yeah, you have the option to use the whole foods for those 100 calories or fuelings, whatever works better for you and is more convenient.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that you're paying attention to make sure that you're not just eating something that's high in sugar with no protein if you decide to do the exchange.
That's what's interesting for me, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
I choose to have my 3 fuelings just grab and go, because I don't want to figure out, okay, now I can have a fruit, next time I need to have protein, or, you know, how to mix them, how to make sure that I'm getting the right balance of my carbs, my healthy fats, and my proteins. There are other programs out there that, you know, here's how many calories you get in a day, and that's what you get, and they're not all the same. Not all calories are the same. You may be getting lots of fat in your calories or lots of carbs and not enough protein. And so that balance, I'm really busy and I don't want to figure out all of this stuff. Shane and Emily have been in optimization, and they've done well. So it's what you're willing to do, but he's got all of this listed. I took all of it and I printed it on a sheet, and I have that up on my fridge, and you might go through and just highlight what all of the different things that you want are. that you like, so it's easy for you to find. And as you go through it, you'll find favorites. Really be careful about portion size. It's not just sit down with the bag of pistachios. It's portion out the 20 pistachios. You know, put them into, invest in those, you know, those little jewelry
Snack
bags,
bags.
those little jewelry Ziploc bags,
Uh-huh.
and then put everything in. So you buy your big bag of pistachios or whatever it is that you like, portion it out, and that's the only thing that you're going to take out.
Right.
Today I want this, and you know, or maybe just have a basket full of a variety of just, well, what do I feel like this time, you know, and you just grab out the different things. You might have melon cut up in your fridge already, but Walmart sells portion sized 1 cup, half cup, 2 tablespoons of these little Tupperwares. And I've already packed them, so I can't show some to, but it says right on the top of the container that this represents 2 tablespoons. I had chips and dip the other day, and I portioned out all of my chips, and I weighed them 28 grams, and I put them in little Ziploc bags, and then I took my little tiny 2 tablespoon container and put my jalapeno artichoke dip in it, and it was this little tiny thing there. When I took it out and I put it onto my bowl, then I actually had quite a bit, and I was very satisfied with that thing. When you're finished with it, get up, go move on. Don't just keep sitting there. Go do something else, drink water, because our habits are gonna, they will have a tendency to go right back to where we were before, and so will we. So you want to be careful about being intentional about your eating, that your food doesn't control you, that you decide. And the way that you do that is you make sure that you're intentional about your eating and so forth. It's nice to put it onto a nice plate or something. The other thing that I did with the sample menu plan or the sample exchanges is I printed it really, really small so that it goes on just 1 column so that I can fold it up and keep it in my purse. And I put all of that up on T3, Teresa's Transforming Team Facebook page. Let's see what they have. Are there any questions so far?
Well,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Dottie.
Like you told us to figure out our T, but you haven't said anything about what we're using that with. How does that relate to the exchanges?
Coming up to it right now.
Okay.
Is there any, did
Real
I miss it?
quickly, ladies, before
Sure.
she goes to, I'm sorry, before she goes to that next thing, a couple things to note. When Teresa was talking about using fuelings or using the whole food, sort of play with it and see what works best for you. I have many clients who have been successful at both. So if you're somebody that has and will take the time to figure it out all the time, then do it. Or maybe have some fueling so that when you don't have time, you can grab it without having to think. And, you know, see what your body likes. But also, when she was talking about, she's so right about being careful with portions. If you find a food that you're eating too many of, for me, it's nuts. I will eat too many. I just put them away and said, you know what? I'm not having these anymore because I will overeat them. The scale starts going up. And that's when we reach out to our coach and go, okay, I need you to hold me accountable. I'm not eating nuts this week. Or Teresa will say, I'm not having chips and dip because they're getting to be a red light food.
Yeah.
So really
you just
listen
don't buy
to
them
her. Right. Yep, you just don't have them. I'm sorry, I
Don't
don't
bring
have
'em
any
in.
nuts in my house right now. Sorry.
until you have it controlled yourself. Yep.
Yep. Anyway, I
Yes.
just wanted to put in my 2 cents. Go ahead, Teresa.
Thank you, baby.
And
So-
I wanted to say this on page 248 of this book. It shows, it's starting to show the proportions. Anyhow, it shows the fruit choices. So I don't know where you would find the actual document that you're talking about that Teresa brought up.
So go to optavia.com
Yeah.
or client answers,
Okay.
because that's where your fruits will be.
Okay.
So this
So
is,
the healthy exchanges, I thought it did. I must be off on the page. I'm in my car, so.
Yeah.
okay, it's
Yeah.
right here. So this is the document, and I just downloaded it onto my phone. And then I have those printed so that I know what I can have. Okay?
Cool, love it.
Okay.
That's great.
So what they also have on Client Answers and OPTAVIA.com is a sample menu plan. So it goes from 1,200 calories up to 2,500 calories. And what I did is I downloaded it here, and I just, this is what they put in, and then I went to MyFitnessPal and I put in 1 cup of skim milk, it's 90 calories, and then an Optimal Health strawberry yogurt bar. So Optimal Health is what I've asked you guys to stay away from while you're in 5 and 1. It's 180 calories. Anything in Optimal Health, that's for adding more calories. I've never done it. I've never purchased that.
Nope, me
I just
either.
purchased the regular ones. They taste great. There's an Oreo cookie one, and that's great. But I'll tell you, that's an extra 80 calories that I'd rather not have.
Yes, agreed.
I mean,
And Mike looks the same thing. She doesn't buy them either.
yeah. I mean, I just don't understand why I would, but it's there. I did have a couple of clients who didn't understand, and they bought snacks using them as fuelings, and they bought these using them as fuelings, and that will throw you out. Both will throw you out.
Right.
So all I did is I went through and I put in what those calculations were. Again, the banana smoothie is Optimal Health, so it's higher. And then you get a free choice. So I also, because I did a lot of all of this stuff, all of this analysis, I printed all of that out, and then I put it into MyFitnessPal looking for it. I found several things that it doesn't say. So I'm going to send this up to OPTAVIA and just ask them, can they put some caveat like this on the end of all of them, that the 6th meal isn't a meal, it's not a fueling, it's the free choice on the 1,200 calorie one. And if you'll notice, I'll go back. The serving sizes for vegetables, that's 1/2 cup, that's 1. 2 cups of raw spinach, that's 3, right? And then 1 cup of these variety, that's 5. You see? So it isn't just 3 servings of vegetables like it looks, 1, 2 here and 1 here. It's actually 5 servings of vegetables. So I just want them to say, this is different than 5 and 1. So I'm telling my clients, it's different than 5 and 1. The other thing that's different is the protein servings for a lot of the lower ones are actually only 3 ounces, and they don't say if it's lean, leaner, or leanest. All it says is 1 protein. On the left is a sample. On the right is what you're supposed to have, a protein, a dairy, a vegetable. So watch that protein and this protein is actually 6 ounces together, okay? So if you're gonna go by that, just watch it. Then that the Optimal Health fuelings are, okay, so they're not all 200 calories, they're just higher calories. Now, something else that I noticed as it went through, it's adding things and adding things, but long about 1,400 calories, as I took everything through MyFitnessPal, and I'm choosing the lower, you know, I'm erring on the side of lower calories as I'm putting all of these items into MyFitnessPal, and then I totaled them up. The 1,400 calorie menu plan is actually 1,510. And each as it goes through, 1,500 is actually 1,633. Just like when you see a recipe on my page or any page at all, this is your health. This is your job, is to double check it and make sure that you're not relying on somebody else to make sure that you're getting the right amount of calories, that you're getting the right amount of protein and things that you need. It's up to you, and it's good for you to do that homework, to look at it and say, ooh, that looks like it's a lot or not enough lean, or wow, that looks maybe like a lot of fat. Maybe I'll do the calculation. So when you're in optimization, you absolutely can go out to a restaurant and have their stuff. Watch your scale and try as hard as you can to stick within the healthy choices. Use your dining out guide, because that's still healthy choices. A dining out guide, you should all have one, but it's on, you can order it with your next box. It's a whole $1.50 for this really beautiful little book that's about 4 by 4 with nice paper. And it goes through and it explains all of the fast food restaurants, sit down restaurants, or just by category. I like French food or Indian or Thai, and what to avoid and what to choose. Yep, there it is. Linda's got it. You're my
Good.
girl. So keep that handy, because those are good choices to have. Do you have to track every single thing that goes into your mouth for the rest of your life? No. Do you have to weigh yourself every single week for the rest of your life? Absolutely. You watch your bank balance. Even when you have paid off all of your debt, you still watch your bank balance. This is your health balance, and you're going to watch that. Russell M. Nelson is a cardiologist, and he's 95, almost 96. He
Yeah.
snow skis. He is in amazing health, and he weighs himself every single day. Is he maniacal about it? No, but he wants to know, I mean, he doesn't have an eating problem. He has a pay attention commitment. And that's what we should adopt, is a pay attention commitment and know where you're at. If you're ignoring something, do you think that that's something that's healthy to just say, yeah, I just like the next size up pants? It isn't that you like those pants. It's that those pants that you were supposed to be in are a little too tight. So let your pants, let your clothes be an indicator. If they start not fitting very well, you're probably not weighing yourself. I would then go back to tracking every single thing. I would go back to my Fitness Pal and get in touch with me. Say I'm squirreling a little bit. I call Monique all the time, and hey, I'm squirreling, and usually she'll say, "Is it chips and dip?" Yep. I had a coach the other day, and I said, "What would you name your animal if it was what you just had?" And my animal, my pet, would be chips and dip, because it's my downfall. So those are just some things. I wanted to also bring up some other things. This is what my daughter likes for my grandkids, and we all know that that's not healthy, right? So it has, somebody write this down. It's 140 calories per serving. It's 5 grams of fat, 20 grams of carbs, and 3 grams of protein.
Ouch.
Okay, so that's not so good. These are the chips I eat. These are my favorite chips and dip. And they're vegetable chips, right? They're gorgeous. It's rice, peas, and black beans. I have another one that has some beetroot in it. But look at this, serving size, 130 calories. It's 10 less. 5 grams of fat. Oh, it's the same. 19 carbs. That one's 20. And 3 protein. So is the goldfish. So really, I think I'm doing really well. Am I?
No,
No,
it's not that much
no.
better, really.
It isn't. It really isn't. So can I have them? Sure. Would I sit with a whole big bowl? No.
Right.
But until I really did the research on it, I thought I'm doing so well. And it's not. I got these from Costco because I thought that looks pretty good. And it's not bad. A serving size is 150 calories, 9 fat, 16 carbs, 2 proteins. So all of those aren't bad. Goldfish actually aren't that bad. It's comparable. I asked nutrition support, what are the guidelines for being in optimization? Guess what the answer is? There aren't any. What? She said, you would want to keep your carbs somewhere around the 15-ish. You want to keep your fats 10 or under. But really, there aren't guidelines. what you want is just watch your Fitness Pal, watch your calories, and watch your balance. Does anybody like these?
Oh, never had it.
That's at Costco too, and they're just lentils, and it's just like chili. But I read the back of the label: 130 calories, 5 fat, 17 carbs, 4 protein. All of it is in the zone. Shocked me to death that goldfish is in that same zone. Just shocked me. This is some cereal that I like. Kashi Go. It has 230 calories per 3/4 cup. So I would probably just have half cup and almond milk on it. 9 fat, 31 carbs,
Ouch.
and 10 protein. And I thought I was doing great because
You are with the
it's,
protein part, but not the rest of it.
yes,
Right.
but I got this to help you understand something. Our marketers have discovered that people are on health kicks. They've watched that the weight loss industry it's like billions and billions now, and people are health conscious. So they're going to go check this out. And it says it right on there, 10 proteins, right? What they compensate with by taking out the fat is they have to compensate with either protein or carbs. And they compensated with carbs. So you have to read your labels. You can't just say, well, that looks healthy, right? One last one. This is pumpkin seed and flax granola. It is 3/4 cup, 260 calories, 10 fat, so we're still good, 37 carbs, and 6 grams of protein. So we are allowed starch. I don't want you guys to be afraid of carbs. Carbs are not the enemy. It's certain carbs. So the carbs that you'll get from a donut is probably comparable or somewhere in the same of 30, but it also is paired with a lot of fat. So
And 0 protein.
yeah, and no protein. So you're looking for more of a balance. Time for, I got 20 minutes before my next fueling. So, let me go back to the sample plans. So what you'll have in here is you're going to have starches that are introduced. So just pick which one you want. This is 3/4 cup of ready to eat unsweetened cereal. So I go and it's soy flakes, peanut butter, brown rice syrup, puffed whole grain blend, whole grain oats, and cane sugar. So cane sugar is way down on the list. This would be an unsweetened cereal, I think. Maybe it is sweetened because it does have cane sugar. So maybe this flax one, where are the ingredients on the flax? Whole grain oats, cane sugar. The second ingredient is cane sugar. Then soy oil, brown rice, pumpkin seeds. So just be careful with what you're eating. And it's okay to have these things. They are healthy things. It's better to have completely whole food. But if you're weighing yourself every day or at least every week, don't hide. Don't hide. Make sure that you're keeping in touch with your coach and make sure that you're watching your weight. And if it starts creeping up, you've got a 10-pound window. My window is, I stopped at 140. So my 10-pound window is actually 145 to 155. I don't like getting up past 150. I keep my window 140 to 150. If I get to 150, I start nudging my way and I go all the way back down to 140 because then I've got time and I just am more careful. I don't want to just stay. Here's the other thing. Every 5 years, on average, we have a stressful event in our lives. Mine is right now. I had my nephew pass away, my nephew's son pass away. We're moving, and the whole buying the house thing was hugely stressful. And within all of that, I gained about 3 pounds more than I like. And so now I just wiggle that back down. I never once stopped weighing myself. I never once just avoided it, because that's letting my fat thinking self say, you know, you're really fine still. Okay, so do we have any questions? What takeaways do you have that are maybe going to help you with your journey? And what have I not answered that you wish that I had said or told you?
Can I share a couple things real quick, Teresa?
Absolutely, hon.
Just a couple things, ladies. Don't be afraid. I was really scared to transition. Like the first time I ate fruit, I seriously almost cried. I was like, I'm gonna lose this. Remember that you won't. You've got Teresa to walk through it with you, so don't be overwhelmed. She can answer lots of questions, and you know how she is. She's very thorough. She'll help you figure out on the day that you add fruit to how to pair it with something so your blood sugar doesn't start doing this. And then the suggestion was, I was like, well, when can I have a treat, or, you know, something that I wanted to try again? I really wanted to know that. And my coach, Karin, came up with the greatest thing that I just love, and I've used it a lot. You can do that after you get through transition and you're in optimization. You can have that treat once in a while. But if you pick a day, one time, not one day, not the whole day, one time, and think about, well, I very seldom eat it because I'm super short, so I have a really small TEE. But in her case, she's taller like Teresa. She picks one day per week, and she has all week long, she thinks about, on Saturday, I'll have that. So in other words, on Saturday, I'll have that chocolate chip cookie. On Saturday, I'll have that piece of ice cream, you know, whatever it is. And on Saturday, she thinks about all the stuff that she was going to have, and most of which she forgot. And she has one thing. And so if you set up some kind of rules for yourself, for me, if I know nuts are my thing, I'm not going to eat them. So make rules. You're still going to stay away from cookies because you'll go right back if that's your downfall. Whatever it is, making up some rules for yourself will really help you. Thanks for letting me pipe in, Teresa.
You bet. That brought something up. Within your sample menu plan is a free choice, and you can have alcohol for your free choice, or you could have sweets and desserts. And those are, you know, 4 Hershey's Kisses, a quarter of a muffin, a half a cup of low-fat ice cream. That's mine. I love ice cream. And there's one called Enlightenment, or Enlightened. And the peanut butter fudge. I love peanut butter. And so it's, I think it's 2 cups. So Wayne and I divide it in 4. And I get a half cup and he gets a half cup. And you put it away. You get it measured out, and then you put it away. It's your next week's treat or tomorrow's treat, because you can have this once a day if you're following the sample menu plan. You're not to be in a deprivation mode the rest of your life. We want you to enjoy your food. We want you to enjoy your life. And if you're going to have a birthday party, or you're going on a cruise, or you're going to a friend's house, we don't want you to be so panicky about what food is nourishment. That's why we call it fuelings. Food is to help us enjoy our lives and to nourish our bodies. But if all we're doing is stressing over food, then it's still controlling our lives. And we don't want that. But you need a food plan. You sit down and you figure out, and it's going to take you some time, just like it took you time to figure out how to do this 5-in-1 thing and the lean and green and all of that. You want to be able to have conscious choices about what I'm going to have for my starch, for my proteins, for all of this. And then as you get used to it, as all of you know, as you've been in this for a long time, you know that I know what my favorites are. I know what's going to be really super filling. I know what's going to be super satisfying. I know the tastiest ones, or the things that I want to share, or, you know, you'll get there with optimization too. Okay. Do you guys have takeaways, things that you learned that you want to implement?
Well, I can see by looking at this list of sweets and desserts that I probably will never choose frosted cake, because I could only have 1 inch square.
Yep, that's pretty small.
That's tiny.
Yep, it's just a bite. Maybe if you cut it down, it's 2 bites. But the thing about it is, if you're somewhere, you know that you can have that. If you've gone to a reception or something and somebody's made this beautiful thing, I can just take a little square. I'm good. Interesting though, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, then I think I will stop sharing and I will tell everybody thank you for being here. I hope that this is going to help other people. We're recording it, and so that, you know, hopefully I can just direct people to come and watch the video, and that other questions were had, and then encourage anybody, if you're watching this video and you weren't on it, that you can post a question, and then other people in our group can answer, people who have gone through optimization. I did look up on Facebook to find a Facebook page that does optimization, like our Steps to Thrive or Teresa's Transforming Team. But there is one, but they haven't posted anything since October of 2019. It's pretty inactive. So I think it's just stay in touch with your coach and check your book, and keep weighing and use MyFitnessPal. And I think that you're going to be just fine. Okay, thanks everybody.